I'm Rob from HopZine.com. Thanks for joining me for another video beer review. This time we are looking at a bottle of Wildeman Farmhouse IPA from Flying Dog Brewery in Frederick, Maryland. Fantastic label by Ralph Steadman, as always. One of my favourites from them, I think. This was originally brewed to celebrate the 25th anniversary of a craft beer bar in Amsterdam called In de Wildeman. It's a citra hopped pale ale that is then fermented with saison yeast, so that's why they call it a farmhouse IPA. So it's somewhere between a saison and an IPA. I've had it a few times now. This was first recommended to me by a friend of mine who owns my local craft beer bar, Mark. He had this in New York, and it was the best thing he said he had whilst we were in New York. So I thought it was well worth review. Oh, I've got some aroma, is it? Oh, straight away. In Flying Dog, always very solid. And this has actually been made part of their permanent range, which is really interesting. They're not a brewery who kind of haphazardly add things to their range. A very kind of established brewery. The beer in the glass looks like lemon juice. Really, it's a really pale, slightly kind of murky looking beer. A good kind of amount of carbonation stream, very fine bubbles, which I'm told is a good indication of nice kind of pleasant carbonation. A nice fluffy marshmallow white head there. Let's have a sniff. Oh, lovely. Yeah, it's for me. It's definitely kind of textbook saison, but it's got a fruitier edge, more of a hoppy edge, as you'd expect. I think that's exactly what they're aiming for. It's got the kind of soft, slightly fudge-like kind of sweetness to the esters of the yeast. Kind of slightly kind of nutmeg, cloves, kind of maybe an unripe banana. But then there's a backbone running through it, which is definitely kind of citrusy hops. Tangerine, apricots, loads of apricot in it actually. Yeah, orange juice from like something like a clementine, a bit softer than like a big Jaffa orange. A mild phenolic edge as well, so it's definitely showing all the attributes of the yeast, but also giving that extra quality of the citra hops. So anyway, which I think works really nicely. I think citra's got a nice lemony quality, which will add a lovely complexity to a saison, really. And for me, the key to a good saison is all about balance. It's a subtle style of beer, and don't overhop it because you'll just lose all the saison goodness, I guess. Anyway, so less jabbering, let's dig in. Cheers. Oh, beautiful. It really is. It's a lovely beer. Initially, quite fruity. Apricot definitely. Sort of softer kind of things. Maybe a bit of peach. It's like peach skin actually. It's not as juicy as that. It's a bit foamy on the tongue, but the carbonation doesn't kind of like sting the tongue. It just keeps it nice and lively. Yeah, and then there's an initial kind of hop flavour, which is quite orangey, with a bit of kind of apricot, soft mango. Then it really kind of starts lifting, does that bitterness. And it becomes more about quite tart lemon juice, fleshy grapefruit. Yeah, and then quite pithy, slightly perfumed. Elderflower maybe in there. With the back end now becoming quite dry. Like when I was a kid, a similar experience to drinking what I remember my grandma having, bitter lemon. which is like Schweppes bitter lemon, which is super bitter. I remember. It'd be interested to see what that tastes like nowadays. I've grown a fondness for kind of bitter drinks, so. But certainly that. Yeah, it's a clean, cutting, tart bitterness. Dry. And I think a bit of that, but throughout there is that softness of pale malt, and then this nice element of the yeasty esters, but it's not too heavy on the kind of fudgy, estery, clove, banana kind of thing, where you might get with more traditional saison, and you get a lot more of a herbal, flat leaf parsley kind of quality. But with this one, it's definitely modern style. It's got those notes in there. It's definitely a saison, but majority of the flavour profile is dominated by a lovely balanced hop flavour. It is relatively bitter for a saison, obviously, and I think it really suits it. I think that kind of juiciness of the saison, the cloves and things like that, really is picked up by the lemon and the apricot and the slight kind of softer orange flavours from the hops. I think it's a really, really nice beer, that. Anyway, so that is a bottle of Wildeman, excuse my pronunciation, that might be way off the mark, Wildeman Farmhouse IPA from Flying Dog Brewing in Frederick, Maryland. And the ABV, once again, is 7.5% ABV. Very nice, really easy drinking. It's a lovely hot day outside. It's the kind of beer that you could drink on a day like today, but it's something you can enjoy all year round. Anyway, I'm Rob from HopZine.com. I'll see you next time. Cheers.